I feel like I'm just picking up where I left off on my vlog last week. I left meaningful work, as you remember, that I showed you, and nothing was done. But boy, am I already exhausted. I took my bags to grade papers at home and I didn't get anything done. I'm in a rush. I have to input all the grades in. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, and today is Monday. Happy Martin Luther King Day. It is a holiday, so the kids are off, the teachers are off, and I feel like I'm just picking up where I left off on my vlog last week. But I am back on the beach this morning because I am gonna go for a run. I'm trying to get back into my running training and just, you know, trying to get back into a regular workout routine since I have been doing Weight Watchers already for 2 months, soon to be 3 months. And I just want to, you know, go back to something that I really love, which is running. So I am at the beach because I love to run in the boardwalk. I'm not going to run the entire time since I haven't been running in a while. I am actually using the C25K app, which is a Couch to 5K app, just to get me started. And that app has you do a training program where you run 3 times a week, and it starts you off at a run. And that sound is the seagulls. They're fighting over something. One of them has something and the other ones want what they have. I have no idea. They're like really madly fighting over it. They're like, mine, mine. No, it's mine, mine. So basically, like I was saying, the Couch to 5K app has a 3-day training program, and when you start, it just has you do a lot of walking with a little bit of running, and it coaches you as you're listening to it. I'm going to be listening to it on my wireless earbuds, and she kind of tells you when to walk and when to run. So that's what I'm going to be using today and during the C25K training. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll show you a little bit of my view as I do my walk run. And it should be about 30 minutes today. But slowly I'm gonna build up my stamina so that I can get back to a running endurance, you know, kind of steady flow. And I'll be joining some 5K races this spring just to keep me motivated, because I love to participate in races. I don't go and participate because I wanna be first. I just do it because it's fun and something that I like to do. So let me get started. Oh, and I do wanna show you, these are my favorite running shoes. These are the Brooks, and this is series 14. I got them a few years back, but I really haven't, you know, used them often. These are the glycerin ones, and I really love it because they provide good comfort and cushion while you run. So that's what I use for running, and probably soon, but they still have some good wear and tear. I mean, they haven't really worn out. So my next shoes will definitely be Brooks. I mean, they're a little bit more on the expensive side. They're about maybe $150. Sometimes you can catch them on sale for less than that. But I really love my Brooks. And yeah, so we're gonna get ready for my run. And let's go. just finished my run and it feels amazing. It was just the first day of the C25K app, so it was, I think, about a 1-minute run and a 1-minute walk. I think that was the intervals or something like that. I'll check on the app and I'll let you know exactly, maybe down here, exactly what day one is, as far as how many minutes you walk and how many minutes you run. As you saw from the little clip from the Hollywood Beach Boardwalk here in Florida, it is beautiful. This is the boardwalk where I ran my first 5K ever back in 2013. So I have a lot of memories here. I also did my half marathon training here on this boardwalk, and I ran that in 2015. So I'm just slowly trying to get back to what I used to do as far as my running training and just getting back into running, because it's really relaxing right here by the beach boardwalk, and you can see the ocean and you're literally just running right by the ocean. So it's very calming and just stress-free and my happy place. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit. As far as the rest of the day goes, it's still morning. I'm gonna go eat some breakfast because I kind of just ate 2 mandarin oranges on the way over here. My son had a dentist appointment this morning, so after he went to that, I dropped them off at the house and then I came over here to the boardwalk. So I just grabbed 2 mandarin oranges and I ate those on the way here. So I'm going to go home and drink a protein shake and have, you know, something else to go with that, a lot of water too. So if I don't see you later, I will see you tomorrow for Tuesday in my classroom vlog. And right before I go, I definitely want to give you one last look at this beautiful ocean view. The sun is really starting to warm up the morning. When I started my run, I was wearing a little hoodie because it was a little cool. It was in the lower 60s, starting to get back up, I believe, in the upper 60s. But here's a little bit of South Florida through YouTube. Hope you have a beautiful day. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another day. So today is Tuesday, January 16th, and what a morning so far. On Friday, I was at a PD, like I mentioned in last week's vlog, and I left my computer laptop charger there, and I was looking for it all day Saturday, and then I remembered I left it plugged in. So yeah, I had to, like, after dropping off my son this morning at school, I had to run over there, get the charger, come back. I made it just in time. The students are going to be in 5 minutes. I got here maybe 15 minutes ago, but I wanted to go over something. You know, as you remember from my vlog last week, I had to leave early on Thursday and I wasn't able to put all the subplans together. Then at home, I decided to make the subplans, put them together. I came on Friday and I had such a hard time with the computer. It was slow, it was glitching. It took me like 30 minutes just to print out the things that I needed to print out. And then I made the copies and I left everything together for the sub. And let me just show you again how I left things. So I left everything here for the sub, all the lesson plans, I left all the work, and as you can see, nothing was done. All that hard work and nothing was done. And I had even sent an email to my whole entire team saying that in the event that the kids were split up, please send them to my room so that they can get their work. But no, so I wonder what my students did. I wonder what the students did all day Friday without me here. Obviously, nobody was in my room because my room looks exactly how I left it on Friday. But what did the children do the entire school day? I mean, I left work. I spent time putting it all together. I left meaningful work, as you remember that I showed you, and nothing was done. So I'm a little frustrated because, you know, it takes time. I was sick. I was doing my subplans. And come today, Tuesday, nothing was done. So I'm just a little frustrated by that. Nevertheless, today's a new day. Let's see how today goes. I do have in plan to finish off what we were working on last week before I went away because I was not feeling well and I went to a PD on Friday, so let's finish it off. Also, I feel like I'm a little scatterbrained. I can't find my makeup bag, but it's okay because you know what? I'm going to embrace my natural beauty today. So makeup free day, enjoy. All right, so I'll catch up with you sometime during my planning time today. Okay, so right now is my planning time. The students are in music, and I just wanted to quickly over some of the things that we did this morning, and I am so thankful that I was able to participate in Meg's Crayons Megabyte Monday yesterday in her YouTube Live, because we went over a couple of different things. One of the things that stuck with me is that whenever we're teaching the civil rights movement, we should definitely show students actual real photos in order for them to see exactly real events that happen, and whenever possible when talking about Dr. Martin Luther King, to use color photos so that the students can see that this wasn't so long ago. And one of the reasons I did that is because my students right now are reading this selection from their Wonders anthology, Delivering Justice, WW Law and the Fight for Civil Rights. And in this particular story, notice the pictures are all illustrations. They're not real photographs, but then they show this. They have a colored and a white. I went ahead and showed the kids a real photo of the colored and white water fountains. Also, as the story continues, it talks about how they did sit-ins. So they go over the sit-in strategy, and I actually went and see how they showed an illustration of it. I actually showed the students a real photograph of an actual lunch sit-in so they can see exactly that this was something real that happened in our history. So it was really great to be able to integrate that. And we ended up having a really good discussion about it, and the students were able to really take it in, and they just reacted like, wow, that was like so unfair. And they just couldn't believe that something like that actually happened in our nation's history. Let me show you really quickly what were some of those photos that I showed them. So I basically did a Google image search for the sit-in at the lunch counter. And this is the photo that I showed the kids that shows how these people were sitting down and the people that were in the back were pouring things on top of them, and how they just peacefully kept sitting there. And that is something that the story goes over as far as their behavior during a sit-in, and the kids can see how the other people reacted to that. This picture really caused them to speak about this, and it created a good discussion. I also showed them a colored picture of Martin Luther King Jr., and this was something that we also discussed yesterday in Meg's Crayons Megabyte Monday, that whenever talking about Martin Luther King Jr., it's a good idea to use color photos so the kids can see that this didn't happen that long ago. And I also was able to show them a few other photos here that come up in Google Images if you were just to search Martin Luther King Jr. color photo. So far it's been a really good discussion, and the students are really going to make the connection as they read the story. So right now is my lunchtime, and it's a little dark in my classroom because I like to leave the lights out when I'm having lunch. Before I show you what I'm eating for lunch today, I wanted to show you something that I'm doing with my students, because on Friday when I went to the training, they did tell us to make sure that we continue to help our students build their reading stamina for the reading test and for the writing test, because they're long tests and the students are expected to sit there for a long period of time, about an hour or something, actually over an hour, but right now I'm focusing on an hour. So they're expected to sit there during that time and read and answer questions. So I decided to start today timing my classes for 5 minutes to make sure that they're just reading for 5 minutes. If they look up, the timer stops. If they are distracted by someone next to them, the timer stops. So I told them, okay, if you guys are able to meet your 5 minutes, I will give the whole entire class 5 dojo points. And if you don't, it's okay. We'll try again tomorrow. So my morning group was not able to meet the 5 minutes. They got to 2.5 minutes, and that's when somebody looked up instead of continuing to read. And what I decided to do was create a visual so that the students can see how they're increasing their stamina. And I use my getting back into running training to tell them about what stamina was. That I used to be a runner. I used to be able to run a 5K without stopping, but now I haven't ran in over a year, so I have to get back and build my stamina up. So yesterday I started where I walk and I run for a specific amount of time, and at the end of the 8-week training program, I will be able to run 3.1 miles without stopping. So that's the same thing with you guys. Little by little, every day, you're going to practice until you get your stamina up and you're able to read for an extended period of time. So after we did that, I decided to put it in a meter on the board, so it's a visual representation of how they are doing with their stamina. So this is what the meter looks like. And basically, I put both of my classes on my homeroom and my other class. Today, I start with my other class first, and then I have my homeroom in the afternoon. So that shows how they're doing as far as their stamina goes. And the goal is to make sure that they get all the way to 60 minutes. So that's a neat little visual representation to help them see how they're improving on their reading stamina. So I'm really excited, to see how this helps the students stay focused on their reading and not let other distractions get in the way of them doing that. So now let me show you what I'm eating for lunch. So today I'm just having my regular salad as usual, and I am having the Annie's chili lime dressing, and I'm having the tuna, the lemon pepper bumblebee tuna pack. That's 0 points. So this is 0 points. The dressing was 3 points. And because I only had like 1 point breakfast this morning, I'm going to have these tostones, this Tropimax tostones, along with the salad, and these are 9 points. So my whole entire lunch is 12 points, which I know sounds like a lot, but I hardly ate anything for breakfast, so I think this will be fine. And this is my go-to lunch whenever I'm rushed for time and I don't have a prepared protein ahead in advance. I just grab one of these packets. That's my protein and the salad, and I'm good to go. So that's my lunch for today. Well, here is the reading stamina meter for the end of the day. My homeroom did their 5 minutes, or attempted to do their 5-minute goal today. They got to 2 minutes. So 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. I think they're off to a good start. And tomorrow we'll continue from there and see how quick we can fill up our stamina meter so that they can be engaged in reading and focus on what they are learning about. And my team members were able to explain to me what happened on Friday. Apparently there were so many teachers that were out that a lot of them have to have so many extra students from other classrooms that they forgot to send the students to my room to get their work. But it's okay, I made it work. I am assigning it as their homework for the week, which is fine because I was already planning on having them work on their writing so that they can start having that steady practice that they need so that they're ready for the test. So it's not all lost, even though the day started out super frustrating and I didn't know what to do with myself. I mean, I had these circles under my eyes. Obviously, I've been sick and stuff, and my hair is not cooperating with me today, but those are just silly things. I just have to embrace my natural beauty, and sometimes things are not going to go the way you expect them, but that doesn't mean that that one thing needs to ruin the whole rest of your day. So to top it all off, even though I started the day off kind of feeling frustrated and not understanding why all that hard work was done for almost nothing, see how the day sometimes gets turned around. My students started giving me all these little notes. They knew that I wasn't feeling well because on Thursday I left early, so some of them wrote me these cute little notes. So I want to show some of the notes that they created for me. So this one is from one of my students. They know that I love panda corn, so she drew her panda corn and she drew a unicorn, and she said it was not her best, but I think it's great. It's still good. Look at Will Soon, we all miss you. This one is from another student that used my name as an acrostic, and they were trying to answer the question, why are you awesome? So this is super, super cute. And then she also used the word friend and did another acrostic, you are a friend, and wrote an acrostic like that. And it's cute because another student came up with the same idea, and she gave this to me today. So she put Miss Sanchez, and I thought that was super, super cute. Healthy Zelda, because they know how much I love Zelda. So that's some of the notes that I received today, some love notes. One student drew this beautiful flower for me. So here's the poem that they wrote along with that flower. Roses are red, violets are blue. If I spent my life with you, I'd say don't mind if I do. That's super cute. And then I have another student that wrote this cute little note. Best teacher, I love you. And she colored this page for me. Isn't that lovely? It's great to feel the love. See, even though I wasn't having such a great day at the beginning of the day, my students filled me with all these beautiful notes that made me feel so special and loved. And on top of all that, we had class picture today. So I ended up taking my class picture with my class with like no makeup on, my hair kind of like a little frizzy today, but you know what? It's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. It's fine. I ended on a very good, happy note. Now I have to gather a whole bunch of papers because I have a lot of grading to do because grades are due this Friday. So I'm going to do that, and I'll probably catch up with you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. So today's Wednesday, and it is the middle of the day week. I know it's a very short week because it's only 4 days, but boy, am I already exhausted. Yesterday was a very frustrating and exhausting day, as you saw. Basically, it continued to sort of be not such a great day for me because after school, I went to Target and I specifically went to buy deodorant and a couple of other things that I need for my lunches this week. And it was nice going through Target and all that stuff. And when I got home, I noticed that my deodorant wasn't in the bag. So I had to drive all the way back to Target, which wasn't a close Target because I had a doctor's appointment, so I decided to go to the Target by the doctor. So I had to drive like 20 minutes away to go to the Target, back to the Target, wait for the security to look at the footage to make sure that I did buy the deodorant and what the cashier did with it. And then they told me, okay, go ahead and get another one. So I didn't get home till close to 9 p.m. last night. And I was so tired. I had dinner and I was knocked out. So today's a new day. So we're going to go forward and do what we need to do today. I have a couple of things that I need the students to finish up and wrap up with because this week is the week that we need to finalize and finish entering grades by Friday morning because grades will be uploaded on Friday at 10 a.m. Which is interesting because I had the best intentions to grade last night when I got home, and I did take bags with me of papers to grade, but those bags stayed in the car and I just brought them back into the classroom. So I'm just gonna sit during my planning time today and a little bit after school and grade. I'm also going to go for a run after school because today will be day 2 of my C25K training for week 1. So I will make sure I get that in. So I'm not going to stay in school too late today. I'm going to go home right after contract hours, do my run, take a shower, and then go see some of my friends that I haven't seen in a while. I do need to do some self-care. So let me show you what I am going to do with the students today. So according to my lesson plans, I plan for my students to read the paired selection today, Freedom in the Family, but they still need to also finish answering questions for Delivering Justice. So they'll probably wrap that up possibly during Do Now this morning. And I also need them to finish this because this is the cause and effect test that they took online. But it's been a while and a lot of them didn't finish. So instead of having them take it online, I'm going to have them take it in paper format. And I just did it in booklet format so that I save paper. So instead of 6 pages, it's only 3 pages that per student. So there are 2 passages and they deal with force and motion. So this is pedal power. And they'll answer 5 questions, and they're in the format of the FSA. So this number 1 is part A and a part B. Part B will always ask them for the evidence to support their answer to part A. And here are the other type of questions that go with that. And then they have the second passage is wind power. And they have 5 questions to also go with that. Skip the page. Yeah, so they have 5 questions to go with that in different formats. This is a multi-select, so they have to pick 2 choices. And then they have an open response question, which is number 11, that asks a question related to the 2 passages. So hopefully they will get this done today. I might just have them start with this today so that they can finish it and be done with that. And I can enter the grade in the grade book. So that's so far what I have planned for the students today. So I'll catch up with you sometime during my planning time, if not a little bit after school. So see you soon. So I completely failed to vlog the rest of my Wednesday. When it came time for my planning time, I was meeting with some of my teachers. Woo! So yeah, when it came to my planning time, I was meeting with some of my teachers, and then I had some things to do because grades are coming due this week. And then after school, I had a meeting with my grade level right after school, and we went over the things that I learned at the meeting last week, Friday, along with what we're going to do for crunch time and how we're planning for the upcoming data meetings that some of us are doing this week and next week. So it's been a really fast-paced day. A lot better than yesterday, I have to say. My students were able to work on the cause and effect passages. We used the spade strategy on the passages, and they started answering the questions. They didn't finish, but they'll finish tomorrow, and then I can enter that grade in the grade book and be done with that and move on to what we have been working on, along with reviewing the things that we haven't done. So there's a lot of things coming as far as crunch time goes. I want to share with you what I am doing for crunch time to get my students ready for the upcoming test, because in about 7 weeks we have the writing test, and in 12 weeks the window opens for the computer-based reading and math test. So a lot of things happening. This is a time of year that even though we're halfway through the school year, everything to me seems like it's going really fast paced, and before you know it, it'll be the end of the year and summer will be here. So right now I'm getting ready to meet some of my friends for early dinner that I need to catch up with, but I will catch up with you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. So it's now Thursday and it's still early in the morning. I got here around 7:20 and it was cold this morning. It was in the 45 degrees, and the students usually line up outside in the courtyard, but as you can hear in the background, they're right outside on the hallway, obviously, because it's too cold for them to be sitting outside. So they'll come in when it's time at 8:20. So the same thing happened to me that happened yesterday, the day before, actually yesterday. I took my bags to grade papers at home and I didn't get anything done. And I'm so terrible at this, at procrastinating and putting things off, but I have been so tired recently. And I guess it's just my body trying to recover from feeling sick last week. But I do have to make it a point today to make sure that I finalize all my grades and they are ready to go for tomorrow's upload, which is at 10 in the morning. Tomorrow was supposed to be a regular teacher's planning day, but again, like I mentioned last week in my vlog, because of the hurricane, we lost tomorrow as a teacher planning day, which I could have really used. But again, we're just gonna roll with what we have. So my allergies are acting up, and I have my left eye keeps, tearing up. So if you see me wiping my eye, that's just what it is. It's allergies and my eye just keeps tearing up. So let me see what I can accomplish in this short amount of time. I think I have 15 minutes before the school day officially starts, and I will let you know what happens for the rest of the day. And to show you what the students worked on yesterday, this is the cause and effect paired passage assessment that they hadn't finished, that I went ahead and I printed out in paper so that we could tackle it together and make sure that they complete it. So what we did is, on the back of this booklet, one second. So on the back of this booklet, what I had them do was write spade as an acrostic, and step by step we wrote out what each part of spade was. So we went ahead and we surveyed the text first by reading the title, thinking about the topic, and looking at the text features. Then we made a prediction about what it was going to be about. Once we did that, we did the A plus A equals close reading, so analysis. So we read it one time just to analyze the text. We went over what the word analysis meant. Then, after reading it the first time, we went over the main idea. Before doing annotations, we actually dissected the questions, just reading the questions and circling keywords. Like I'm going to show you right here. We circled keywords and we underlined important information, and we labeled what kind of question it was without answering the questions. This is just after the fact. So once we dissected the questions, we went back for a second reading, and we did the dissection of the questions before the second reading so that it kind of set a purpose for what they were going to take notes on. So we did annotations, which is how we do close reading. And as you can see, I had the students number the paragraphs. I had them underline important information. I asked them, where in the passage would it connect the text feature to what the text says, and that's why the sentence was underlined, and they drew an arrow to point to that. And every time we underline, we wrote, information about why we're underlining it. And we kind of also did like a little bit notes as to what the main idea of that paragraph was. So this one is talking about today's bike, for example. And we looked for cause and effect relationships, since that's the skill that was assessed. And again, you see how we continue to annotate the passage. After we annotated the passage, we went ahead and we discussed what the overall text structure was. And this one had both compare and contrast and cause and effect. Overall, it seemed that the text structure was compare and contrast, but I told them that to also pay attention to the cause and effect
relationships because that's what the test is going to assess them as well. After we did that, they go ahead and answer the questions on their own. And these are the different kinds of questions that they're going to have on the Florida Standards Assessment. So this one, number 1, has a part A, and then the part B is the evidence to support their answer to part A. And these 2 questions here were on vocabulary. They were assessing context clues, definition, and restatements. This one was cause and effect, but actually it was text structure because it had a cause and effect answer, but there was also a compare and contrast answer as well. And here they're just connecting the cause with its effect according to what was in the passage. We did the same spade strategy, and by the way, the E is for evidence. So I told them, even if the question is not asking you for evidence to support, you got to go back in the text and make sure that whatever answer you choose is supported by the text. There's evidence to prove that that is the answer. So then we went ahead and then we did the spade strategy again with wind power. So we read the title, we asked what the topic was, we looked at the text features, we created a prediction that we discussed together, and then we did the first reading for analysis, and then we did a second reading for annotations. As you can see, the annotations that were made for the passage. We also dissected the questions, finding what type of question it was, and circling important information that they needed to make sure they paid attention to, labeling what kind of questions it was, and answering those. The last question ties both passages together, and they needed to describe the overall structure and explain how it helps the reader understand the ways energy is connected. So that's basically what the students did yesterday. Some of them were not able to finish, so they'll finish this morning as soon as they come in.
All right, so it's the end of the day now on Thursday. I wasn't able to vlog during my planning time because I went to a Promethean board training to learn a little bit more about how to work with my new Promethean board. So I was able to learn some really neat tricks and different tools that I can use to engage in the lesson a little bit more. As far as the students go, today they were finishing that cause and effect, pedal power, and wind power passages that they were working on. And they were also, my homeroom was finishing off their Native American projects for the Florida natives. And let me show you a little bit about what they created. So I'm going to take you over here. All right, so they're not done, and hopefully they can finish tomorrow. But at least they got a good start in it. So this is basically what they were able to do today. So they will have more time to finish these tomorrow. This one looks pretty much done. They just have to finish coloring and maybe drawing a couple more pictures. And this one's almost done as well. So I'm really liking how these are turning out. This one is almost done too. Yeah, I'm really liking how they're turning out, and I can't wait to put them up and display. So I was able to create one as an example that I will show them tomorrow on the Miccosukee tribe, which they are not working on. So they know more or less how to create their project. I really like this activity so that they can then teach the rest of their class about the tribe, which hopefully they'll be able to do tomorrow. So that's very exciting. So yeah, I'm getting ready to gather my things and go home actually on time today because I haven't been feeling well. And I just kept thinking today, oh my God, can the day just be over? Can the day just be over? It was just one of those days. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm usually here and I don't want the day to end because of how engaged I am with the students and the learning that's going on in the classroom. But I have to be real and tell you that there's going to be days that you may not feel as good. So you just want the day to be over so it's time to go home. But I'm actually going to go home so that I can relax a little bit and finish up the grading that I have to be done so that all the grades are ready to be uploaded tomorrow morning. So that's all for now, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. I'm in a rush. I have to input all the grades in because I left my laptop in my classroom last night. So I'm going to input all the grades in right now, and then I'll put on my makeup and I'll start the day. So, see you soon.
The turquoisa ate fish, shellfish, nuts, and berries. The man caught the sharks, the sailfish, the sea cows, and the porpoises in the water of Biscayne Bay and Miami River. The women and children collected cocoa plums, sea grapes, and palm nuts. We are the Calusa. They made fish, bone, arrowheads to hunt for animals such as deer. The Calusa tribe died late in 1770. The name of the tribe is Togabaga. Right? Okay. One of the interesting facts are that the women of Togabaga tribe had a heap of garbage in the kitchen called the midden. They speak English right now, but they used to speak as native Appalachian language. Appalachian used a bow and arrow to hunt. The Appalachian men have tribal tattoos. They hunt dead deer, bear, and more.
Skilled humans and fishermen. And the Timucua were one of the most peaceful tribes. From 1649 to 1656, the Timucua tribe began to diminish because there was a disease that was going around. It is believed that those who survived the disease joined the Seminole tribe, and also both men and women decorated their bodies with tattoos and paint.
So right now it's lunchtime, and I'm just gonna have my usual quick to go lunch when I'm in a hurry in the morning, which is just salad with some tuna and some chili lime dressing. And today I am going to eat a matzo cracker and some clementines. Yummy! And the students finished their Florida Native Americans project today, their group project, and I wanted to show you their final products. This is the Tequesta Indians. These are the Calusa Indians. These are the Appalachian Indians. This group, instead of writing the name of the tribe here, they actually wrote name of tribe, as I showed in the directions. But this is the Tocobaga Indians. And this is the Timucua Indians. So those are the 5 different Florida native tribes that the students worked with. These are the tribes that are no longer present in Florida. And if they are present, they just mixed in with the other current tribes that we have in Florida. I'm proud of the work that the students did. And I wanted to show you so you can compare it to what I showed yesterday on the blog. And you can see the final products that the students created. So it's really neat, and I can't wait to put it up. So I just finished putting up the rest of their wintergrams for both classes in our remarkable reading bulletin board. And I will show you what I did on the outside for the hallway bulletin board. So for the outside bulletin board, I ended up doing 2 rows so that I can display as many students as I could. And I also put their Florida Native American tribe projects right outside on the hallway for display. So yeah, that is our work and how it looks right now, and I'm really happy with how it looks actually. Love displaying student work.
So it's the end of the day, and today wasn't so bad. It was a really good day. I know that there were times this week that I just felt so drained and I wasn't feeling well, but today was fine. I actually ended the day just now with my 5th graders who were my 4th graders last year. They were visiting me, or more like raiding my room. They just have so much energy, and they just, want to show their love because they miss me so much. And they were like saying, can you please move to 6th grade so we can have you next year as a 6th grade teacher? So that was really neat and really cute. But I did have to tell them to please go home or go somewhere because I had things to do, and I don't want to stay in school too late today because it's Friday, hooray, and I do want to spend some time with my son. Also, like I mentioned earlier, grades were due today, so I was also able to see my son's grades, which were pretty good, and I kind of want to celebrate with him and go out. So I'm looking forward to doing just that later on today, if not tomorrow. And this is the part where I want to stop and reflect on how the week went. This is like my week in review, just like I did last week. I just want to stop. If I'm doing a weekly vlog, I don't know how long I can keep doing these weekly vlogs, even though I feel like this week it wasn't as great as previous vlogs. I'm sorry if it wasn't. And I'm just, I wish I could always have a peppy, positive, high-spirited energy vlog, but sometimes, I just don't feel so great, or my mood may not be in the best. So I don't want to hide that, because that's just the truth of life. And, things are not always going to be peppy and high and exciting. I want to stop and reflect. Oh, before I do that, today is Friday, which you all know is Funky T-shirt Friday. So I want to show you what my shirt is today. So today's shirt says, English teachers save lives. And at the bottom it says, let's eat grandma. And then they put the comma, let's eat grandma. So it goes over how commas can save lives and how English teachers can teach students how to use commas properly. And then the cool thing is that I was able to read with one of my groups, and I didn't have time to read it with the other one, but I was able to read this book, which actually, let me get it right now. 1 second. So I was able to get this book, Eats, Shoots, and Leaves, and it's based on the panda thing. The panda comes into the library, he eats, shoots, and leaves. So I like it because it has a little bit of an introduction, and then it starts showing different scenarios. So this one, for example, says slow children crossing. And then they take the comma out, and then it says slow children crossing. So the students can see the difference that the comma makes, because it changes the meaning of the sentence. And the book keeps doing that throughout the rest. And this is actually a series. I have another one for apostrophes and another one for the importance of punctuation marks. So we were able to do that with my morning group. And again, the afternoon group usually doesn't have a lot of time, or the same time as the morning group, and especially today, Friday, they have their recess at the end of the day, so that takes away from the instructional time, but that's okay, because they can, read it next week with me. So we did that, and to go along with my shirt, I love the shirt. I try to use different shirts every Friday, not the same one, and I have a pretty good collection. If you would like to see a collection video, maybe a future video on my channel of my graphic tee collection or my Funky T-shirt Friday collections that I kind of rotate and use throughout the year, leave a comment down below and let me know, and I'll definitely make that video for you. So let's stop for a moment and reflect. All right, so this week was a 4-day week. Monday was a holiday. It was Martin Luther King's birthday, and in memory of him as a strong leader. And I started this week's vlog by going to the Hollywood Beach Boardwalk and doing my 30-minute C25K training for that day. I had the best of intentions of doing it Tuesday or Wednesday, but it just didn't get done for different reasons. But that's okay. I'm not going to make excuses. I didn't do it, so now I'm going to make sure I get it done today or tomorrow or both days. But I really like that I started that day on a positive. I actually started the week on a positive note, going to the beach and just doing something for myself. And as I'm reflecting, I'm remembering I started the week pretty much with no makeup, and I'm ending the week with no makeup, but that's okay. I need to kind of embrace my natural beauty and just let it be. It's fine. It's totally fine. So that was Monday, and then Tuesday I came in and I started out very frustrated, and as you remember, because I noticed that the sub-plans that I spent so much time to do and that I did while I was feeling very sick last week were not used. I went ahead and I repurposed the materials, and the students were able to use the main packet as homework, which they turned in today, and I will start looking through that, and they get 2 grades. That will be for the new grading period. So that was Tuesday, which was really tough day for me emotionally, and even after school. Like, I remember going to Target and going to buy deodorant, and by the time I got home, I noticed that the deodorant wasn't in the bag. Everything else I bought was there, but the deodorant wasn't, which was the main purpose of me going to Target. So I had to drive all the way back to that Target, which was kind of far because I had an appointment in the area, so I went to that Target. So I was able to go back to the Target and get the deodorant and then make it back home. And on Wednesday, I wasn't able to vlog a lot because the day just went by super fast. During my planning time, I was meeting with some teachers, and then I wasn't able to vlog during my planning time or my lunch. I actually ended up vlogging at the end of the day when I went to a restaurant to meet some of my friends, which was great. I needed to do that. I'm glad that I took time to do some self-care and pause whatever I had to do and just take care of me, spend some time with some good friends that I hadn't seen in a while, and that was really great. And then yesterday, I was okay, but then, you know, towards the end of the day, I was feeling, again, that kind of like mood that, I don't know, I'm usually okay with the days and spending the time with the students, but yesterday was a day that I just felt like, oh my God, this day has to end. This day has to end. I just gotta go home. I gotta go home. And I actually went home right away. Like 3:25 hit, I got in the car, I went to get my son from the library here at school, and I went home. And it was great. I was able to rest. I caught up in some Amazon. I was watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is amazing. I love that show. And I was able to catch up on some grading and have dinner and rest, and it was pretty good. And today was a really good day. They were able to finish their Florida Native Tribes project, and they did a really good job. They finished it, they presented it, they taught the rest of the class about their particular Florida tribe, and then in turn, I taught them about the Miccosukee tribe, which is still here in Florida. So they were able to get some really good information with that. Starting next week, I will no longer be teaching social studies to my homeroom, which I will miss dearly. But there are some recommendations as far as our schedule goes that have to be in place. So due to those recommendations, I'm no longer able to teach social studies to my students. So my co-teacher who teaches math and science to my students, she's also going to teach the social studies to my homeroom students. She was teaching social studies to her homeroom students, and I was teaching social studies to my homeroom students, but now starting next week, she'll be teaching social studies to both groups of students. So the only things that I will be teaching from now until the year ends is ELA, so reading and language arts, and that will be it for the rest of the year. And also making sure that my students have their allotted time for the 30 minutes of writing every day, along with their interventions, because I do have students that need to have an extra 30 minutes of reading intervention every day. So I need to make sure that I get that done as well. So we're putting it all together because now it's crunch time. So overall, in the reflection for this week, I'm pretty okay with the things that I was able to accomplish. Not every week is going to be, wow, I was an amazing teacher this week. I taught everything that I had planned to teach, and my lessons were on point. Not every week is going to be like that. That's just the realistic fact of it all. Sometimes you're going to have weeks that you're like, you know what, I'm okay. I'm good with what I taught this week. The students were able to learn all the standards that they needed to learn. The students completed most of the assignments that I needed them to complete. It was a productive week as that goes. Could it have been better? Yes. But you know what? I am still trying to get over being sick last week. I was really, really sick. And then, of course, with my mood, how it was not so great last week either, that's still kind of like affecting me. But I think now I'm starting to feel like I'm getting out of that slump, and I'm starting to feel a lot better. So I'm hoping that next week, which is a very full week, there are no other days off until President's Day. So it's going to be a full week up until that point with President's Day. So I have a couple of things that I have planned to do. I haven't done my lesson plans yet. I'm going to do them this weekend at home, and I'm probably thinking of recording a lesson plan video and show you how I lesson plan for my reading and for my language arts. So that's coming. And I'm also thinking of videotaping another lesson planning video for how I used to do my math lesson plan. So what I will do is I will take the pacing guide for what our math teachers are currently getting ready to teach the next week or so, or the following week or whatever, and I will create a lesson planning video on how I would plan for math for that time. And I'll also do one for social studies as well, so you can kind of have an idea on how I lesson plan. I know different people plan in different ways, and it's always good for anyone that's interested in teaching or is a student teacher or new to teaching, so you can kind of see the different ways that teachers lesson plan, and you can find the best way that works for you. I know that most schools have like one teacher plan for the whole grade level, one subject, but in our school we don't really do that. We each plan for our own students, and I teach the gifted students. So I don't always teach the pacing guide, which is the on grade level curriculum. I also teach accelerated curriculum. So we're going to start a novel next week, so I can show you how I plan for a novel. We're going to start doing test practice with the writing, so the students can get a feel for what 2 hours of writing testing feels like, so they're ready for it and they're fully engaged during those 2 hours. So yeah, some great things coming up. So I think this is where I'm going to end the vlog for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too boring. And if you did enjoy it, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Also, leave a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and hit the bell for notifications so you get notifications when I post new videos as well. Thank you so much for watching and coming along this week with me. And I hope you have a beautiful, magical day. Don't forget to smile.